What's up? What's up? This is your homeboy Maul the Pimp, aka MTP, and welcome to another special edition of Table Talk with MTP. And this right here, this is gonna be something totally different, y'all, because we're gonna be giving y'all a bunch of game on here. The name of this episode is called "Why Podcasts Are Important." Again, let me say that again: why podcasts or why podcasting is important. And what you're looking at right now it's five different dudes who are beasts, who doing their own thing, who got a fan base, a niche, or whatever you want to call that, with their own podcast, and got their own demographic going on. So I want to introduce my guests. First and foremost, based out of Atlanta right now, by way of Austin, Texas, Will Hustle TV.
What's going on, everybody? Yeah, man. I go by Will Belafonte. Like I was telling them earlier, I've been in the media for probably like 20 years. I started off doing street DVDs. I had everybody on my covers. I had Jock, Trey, Bum B on the cover. I had Pimp C and Chameleon there on the covers. I got one of Pimp C's last interviews. So one of our slogans is we went viral in the streets before the internet. You know what I mean? Like people used to steal our DVDs. So now I'm in Atlanta. I cover a lot of celebrity events. I'm on a radio co-host on a radio show called the Very Viral Show, VVS show. That airs on Highly Unique Radio via iHeartRadio. Like I was telling people earlier, I'm actually working on launching a media network. So this is a dope call for me to be on, because I feel like why podcasts are important is if you put all we if we can.
Hey, well, you know what? Will hold it. We're gonna get to it. Hold it. I want to hold
I
it.
got you. Yeah.
Next guest out of Nebraska, Adrian, Invest in Yourself podcast. How you doing, big dog?
Hey man, I'm good.
I'd just like to say thank you for bringing me on here and considering me, and also giving me the opportunity back when I had only 100 or 200 subscribers and coming on my show, man. That really meant a lot to me, and I'm glad I could return the favor, man. I've been podcasting and stuff for probably 2 years now, and I do, when I first started, I did a lot of rappers, comedians, actors, and just a variety of different stuff, and overall, my show is called Invest in Yourself podcast, so I always get a definition on how someone's investing themselves. Now I do a lot of gangsters or ex-mafia people, that were in the mafia, and so they got a redemption story, so they're still investing in themselves. So I've been covering a lot of the mafia right now, but as Maul knows.
Gotcha. Next guest, my guy out of Dallas, Texas, Rell TV. What's going on, big dog?
What's going on with it, man? It's your boy Really Rare TV, man. I'm from straight out of Pine Bluff, Arkansas made, but I'm getting money here in Dallas, Texas. My show Really Real Podcast. It's something I came up with in 2018, but I only been doing it for 2 years, man. 2 years. April 20th made 2 years, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
And I do topic shows. I interview anybody, rappers, barbers, anybody that got a story to tell and that's doing something,
Gotcha. It's my guy. I was just down there in Texas fucking Real and Will Hustle. Actually, my next guest, this dude go back to like, boy, this dude go back right here, man. I'm talking about, man, we go way back. My guy out of Tampa, Florida. Listen, he out of Tampa, man, but to me, his name need to be called Mr. Florida, because when you got to go to Florida, this nigga you got to tap in with right here. I don't give a fuck what city you in. I'm talking about my guy, Adrian, Street Fame Magazine. What's going on, bro? Welcome to the show.
What's good, man? What's good, everybody? My story, like yours, Will Hustle, man. That's what's funny. I actually started with a DVD era. You know what I'm saying? I was pretty much doing it. I heard you say like you did the Pimp C and you did some interviews. I did some interviews similar. That's how I met Maul. I did an interview with BG back in the day,
right.
And he was his manager at the time. And I was putting out DVDs in the streets. So I started putting out printed publications, and then pretty much it's been up since then.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it's crazy he said that. Cause look what I got, Adrian. You'll never look at
that. Look at
that. Magazine. Yep. And look who name right there on the beginning. Look at that. That's like Maul the Pimp right there. Huh? Look at how you love that. Yeah.
That's a throwback, man. That go way back. That's like 10, 12 years old, man.
Right. And I got like 5 of them right here, bro. I won't get rid of them.
What's up, man? What's up? History.
Hey, so what I want to do, y'all, man, we got Texas in the building, Atlanta, Nebraska, Florida, Tennessee. And between us with these states, we spread out nationwide. You follow what I'm saying? So I want to give some game to people who are trying to get on podcasts, people who are trying to start podcasts, people who want to know why podcast is important, because right now this is the new wave right here. You got actors and rappers and all kind of people in entertainment going from their regular situations to doing podcasts. Everybody likes to talk and get information and shit like that. And we all are good at that in our own way. You follow what I'm saying? So Rell TV, let me start with you. What made you want to start podcasting, bro? And what steps did you take to do that? I got to give a shout out to my sponsor, the Chattanooga Cigar Club. Again, the Chattanooga Cigar Club. Let me tell you all about the Chattanooga Cigar Club. The Chattanooga Cigar Club is Chattanooga's premier cigar and hookah lounge, open Thursday through Sunday, with ladies free on Friday and live music up until 10 o'clock. Keep in mind, you can also rent the building for your own events from Sunday through Wednesday. Shout out to my guys D. Scott and Kurt at the Chattanooga Cigar Club. For more information, log on to ChattanoogaCigarClub.com. Again, salute to my sponsor, the Chattanooga Cigar Club. Much love. Yeah.
So what made me want to start a podcast is really, it started out with me wanting to, people thinking that I should do comedy. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always the funny dude. Okay. But the thing was, I was never trying to be funny. You know what I'm saying? They like to hear me tell stories and talk, you know what I'm saying, to give my opinion on stuff. You know what I'm saying? I just got tired of arguing and all this. So I said, man, I'm going to start a podcast. I can freely, you know what I'm saying, give my thoughts on things that's happening in the world and that's going on with people in music and all that. And, you know what I'm saying? So once I got into it, I started seeing how people like to come up and talk to me, you know what I'm saying? So that led to me saying I should start interviewing people, you know what I'm saying? The steps I took, really, I played around with it for a couple of years with the idea. But you know, one thing about it, you ain't starting to start, you know what I'm saying? So once I did my first one and got my feet wet, you know, my first podcast, I had a cell phone on a tripod, you know what I'm saying? You know, I had a little 16-year-old kid, his laptop and some mics, you know what I'm saying, engineering for me. So, you know, the steps, it ain't take too many steps, but it takes just hard work and consistency to keep it going and to know what you're trying to do.
That's a fact.
Will Hustle, piggyback off that, man. What made you want to start? What made you want to get into this, Will? Piggyback off what he said.
Man, just basically, I went to New York. I used to hustle clothes and bags and shit like that, and I got a whiff for like Smack DVDs and like the As Is DVDs, and I realized that they didn't really, you know, have like the South, you know what I mean? In Texas, period. So I was like, man, I feel like our market, like I always thought market. I got a marketing company as well. It's like if I could just put all the Florida niggas, the Alabama niggas, you feel what I'm saying? Like that's a demand right there. So I just, you know, it was a lot easier. You know, back then you just go get a regular VHS cam and film. You know what I mean? And so me and my people, we just stayed at all the hottest events, the All-Star weekends, the Ozone magazines. And then we had personal relationships with people like, you know, my Pimp C interview came because I had mob ties, you know what I mean? And that's what it was. I just really wanted to put my people on, bro, and have people that look like me on camera and my style, my vernacular, you know what I mean? In my culture.
Adrian, what's your story, man? What made you start want to get into this type of game, bro?
Well, kind of same thing. Like Will, he said he was you were selling clothes and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I got one that I do too. Holding and was investing in yourself clothing. Still got it, and I started that back in 2020, and I wanted to give my brand a voice. So I thought, you know, I could make a podcast about it and interview all these people from my city. But then I started the first one I had, but eventually, you know, after like episode 10, I started branching off to people, other rappers and different stuff in different states. And then I was like, damn, this can really be something. I didn't really because from where I'm from, Nebraska, there ain't a lot of, I don't know. I mean, like there's not a lot of celebrities and stuff like that to interview. So for me, it kind of seemed impossible. But then I realized, hey man, there's Zoom, there's StreamYard that I can use and reach out to these people on Instagram and all that and still do an interview, whether we're in person or not. So I kept doing that, doing different celebrities. And eventually I came across doing interviews with mafia guys, and I'm like, man, how the hell are these guys out here and still being able to be free after all this? after all the shit they did, and then they would tell their stories and all that, and that started to really pick up. So I kind of thought, all right, well, I can still do interviews with these guys. I mean, and gangsters that were used to live that life, or drug smugglers, whatever it was, but they still have a redemption story. So I use that as well to incorporate, invest in yourself in it. But yeah, I mean, I've been doing it for 2 years, and since the beginning, I've always posted an episode every week. And man, when I first started, man, I don't know about y'all, but I my first year I only got 100 subscribers, but now I'm on my second year and I'm averaging like 800 each month. So now I'm almost at 5,000. So it just goes to show, I mean, the first year, whatever you do, it's going to be hard as fuck. It doesn't matter what it is, but if you stay consistent, you keep at it and figure out, hey, I need to do this. I'm failing in this. There's something that's not, this ain't working. So now I need to reevaluate it and move forward and try to do something different. Like that'll help me promote or sound better, more professional, or not be so shy, you know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at with it now, and I'm working on documentaries and little stuff like that too, with mafia documentaries and stuff. So I'm really getting into that, but I mean, just the same thing, man. You got to show up every day, and you get better, man. That's what I can say to that.
Street Fame magazine, Street Fame out of Florida, bro. Give us your spiel. How did you get into this, bro?
Oh, really, man? It's funny because I was telling some other people they should do it, right? And I was like, man, y'all should do this, y'all should do that. It was just an idea I had, but where I'm at, people they got to see you do it to believe it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you believe in it so much, why don't you do it? And I was like, at the time, I was like, man, I got other stuff going on, so I was like, I don't really got the time. That's why I'm trying to get my homeboy, and they ain't really got nothing going on. They the type to sit around, shoot dice, play cards, sitting on the porch. You feel me? So I'm like, y'all should do this. Y'all ain't really got nothing going on, on the way back to prison. You feel me? But trying to get them to do it, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't convince them. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it myself, man. And that's pretty much how I started. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But really, what my whole thing is with the street fame, where I get the name from, kind of goes along with why I started doing it. I was trying to take people from the streets to the fame. You know what I'm saying? All of my interviews that I do, I always try to base around how you got where you got. How were you able to transition from the street to the fame? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's pretty much what it's all about.
My story to that was, man, I've been around for a long time, like in the entertainment industry. I know a lot of people. I got a lot of connections. So people would always tell me. Actually, a female came to me first and was like, she was like, "Mom, you should do one of the little things." Her exact words. What's some little things people been interviewing people and stuff, and they have these little talk shows? What they call that? I said a podcast. Yeah, you should do that, Mom, because you've been around and blah blah blah. I brushed it off. You feel me? Like, I ain't got time for that shit. I'm moving. I'm moving around. I ain't got time for that. Then one of my homeboys came to me was like, "Hey, Pimp, man, you got to do a podcast, bro. Everybody going to podcast now." But I ain't have time for that. So what finally got me open was when COVID hit, and I couldn't travel no more. Everything shut down, so you had to sit still. So I'm like, I'm just sitting still. What the fuck can I do? That podcast shit they was talking about. That podcast shit. So I reached out to a couple people I had connections with, told them what I was trying to do. And then I got my first couple of interviews from there. I kind of like the vibe I got. You did, because I'm used to being interviewed. I'm used to being in front of the camera and getting asked all these questions. Now it feels good to flip the script because I feel like I know the questions that fans want to hear. I know how to come at an artist or come at a celebrity because I've been in that hot seat before too. So I know what to ask, what not to ask, and all that type of shit. So I'm like, I'm kind of the perfect host for this type of shit. You follow what I'm saying? So that's the reason I got into it. You follow what I'm saying? So,
well, I mean, not to cut you off, but I pretty much started podcasts for the same reason. The podcast part of it, it was the pandemic. I didn't start a podcast till the pandemic. I was doing the street stuff and I was out down the road a lot, but I didn't actually start actual Street Fame podcast until the pandemic.
I started my clothing brand back during the pandemic, so it sounds like we all had some kind of shit that came out of that.
It was a blessing, huh?
Yeah, it definitely was.
It was a blessing and a curse,
man.
Yeah, that's true.
So, Rell TV out of Texas. Let me ask you this: when you first started the podcast thing, what was the biggest challenge you faced?
The challenge I faced was, for me, is trying to get the video uploaded right. The editing the video part of it, because you know, I didn't really know what I was doing, so I didn't know how to all I knew how to was put it on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So I had to figure out, you know what I'm saying, the party sitting down and doing a podcast. It's the behind the stuff. It was behind the stuff for me, you know what I'm saying, getting the editing right. My first podcast, I just put the video out the other day as a like, hey, here go the first video, because the day I put it out, all I had was audio to put out.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was the hard part for me. You got to really know what you're doing behind the scenes besides just talking on the camera, the easy part.
Street Fame magazine out of Florida. Just getting into it as a rookie, bro. What was the biggest challenge you faced, bro?
I would say the biggest challenge is trying to find support, man. Trying to build a team. You know, that's the hardest challenge. I mean, trying to get some people that's serious, that take you serious, that believe in you. You know what I'm saying? That see the vision.
Right. Will Hustle, what about you, bro? Biggest challenge first getting into it before you became established.
Yeah, back in the day, it was technology isn't where it used to be. So finding somebody to edit. Well, I guess the podcast is pretty easy, but when I first started doing media as a DVD, it was finding somebody to edit our stuff. Like it wasn't, and everybody had Premiere Pro. You couldn't edit on your cell phones and things of that nature. So that was the hard thing, finding somebody. Like now, the fact I can edit myself. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was the thing. That was the hard part for me.
What about you, Agent? Invest in yourself out in Nebraska. What was your
well, when I started too, I did the same thing as Rell TV, just uploading videos and putting like a little title or something, you know what I mean? But when I was doing it, I realized I ain't got no thumbnail. I ain't got no catchy title. All I got is IIY podcast featuring da 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 da. And it's like YouTube and all these other platforms, they only show the first 55 characteristics, like the character words that you type in there. So that's all these people see. So they see Invest in Yourself podcast featuring, and then that's it. And then they see me a picture of me and someone else. So making thumbnails that are interesting, titles that are interesting, editing. I mean, that shit, it's just time consuming, and but it definitely was a process. At first, I just didn't put no pictures, didn't put anything in there. I just let it go. But eventually I started cutting out parts that were kind of dull, or like that, like where someone, or if like someone's phone went off or something, just take all that kind of stuff out, and really got to and making professional intros and outros eventually came too. But I mean, I would stutter and shit when I was doing them, so I just like, nah, man, this is not good. So I mean, all that shit was a struggle, but I mean, as time progressed, I got better with it. I mean, but it takes time, and you gotta just adapt everything.
So let me ask this. I'm gonna start with you, Will, and I'm gonna come around to all y'all. Like, all right, everybody doing podcast. We got our own podcast. You got a million more people out there that's doing the same thing. So when you see a podcast pop up with somebody you don't know, what are you looking for to catch your attention, make you like, I'm gonna sit here and watch this instead of just skipping through this shit? What's the initial, like, bam, I don't know this dude, but let me check this out. What makes you do that? What are you looking for?
They look. I mean, right now it's all about having a story. You know what I mean? And then relevancy. Now everybody's like, about, what's going viral. Like that was a hard thing that got to me. Is just like I'm not a Vlad. I can't ask, excuse my language, a dick sucking ass questions, rat ass questions. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like I had to find my way to go viral and ask those type of questions or whatever. But yeah, I just look for a story and somebody who's relevant, who has a following that people want to see. They want to see that new interview, because when somebody is relevant and they have a following, then I'm gonna go do my research, because like I really pride myself on the questions that I ask. You know what I mean? So I would one of my favorite interviews I asked. I didn't know Freeway Rick was from Texas. You know what I mean? And I interviewed him when he first came home. He's like, yeah, you know what it is, Texas boy, go to Cali and take over. You know what I'm saying? Being from Texas, like I know that was dope when I heard it, so I could imagine anybody else. But if I wasn't with his management and able to like do my research and find out information that you can't find on the internet, I wouldn't be able to do it. So somebody with a dope story and somebody who's relevant, and it's fucked up to say somebody who's viral at the time.
Rell TV out of Texas. You looking at a podcast, you don't know who this guy is, who these people are. What makes you say, let me check this out instead of just skipping past? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for You saying if I'm watching somebody else's podcast?
Yeah, you just watch somebody else's podcast. You don't know, you just scroll across. I'm like, let me. I can easily skip this shit, but what caught my attention? Like, let me check this out. What kind of elements stand out to make you watch somebody who you don't know? So you can be like, I've just been turned on to something new.
Most of the time, it'd be the title for me. It'd be the title. You know what I'm saying? And then like, if I'm like, the title is what's gonna give me the press to play button.
Okay.
Now,
Clickbait.
what's gonna keep me into it is, you know what I'm saying, what you talking about, your demeanor. Like, is you taking what you saying serious? Like, do you believe what you saying? You know, I got to see that because I don't agree with everything I be looking at, but sometimes I like to see people play devil's advocate or giving an opinion. Like, for example, like Charles White, I sit up and watch him. I don't agree with half the stuff he say, but yeah, I don't agree with 95% of the stuff he say, but he didn't caught my attention though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I want to know why he think like this. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I get that. Invest in yourself out in Nebraska. Same question, bro. You come across a stranger's podcast, you don't know this guy. What makes you stop and actually take time to watch instead of skipping over that shit? Well, what stands out to you that gets you?
Well, there's I say that gets my attention, but there's some that I don't watch. I mean, there's drama-based ones where people are like, oh, this guy got beef with this guy, but then I'm like, I really don't even give a shit, so I don't watch it. But I mean, you see the title and shit, and you're like, oh man, what's going on there? But then, I kind of pass it because I just try to stay away from drama and stuff. But I mean, what gets my attention too is like the titles, and if the thumbnail looks professional, and if what they're saying on the title kind of matches the thumbnail, like whatever it may be. That what I think is like when they take a quote that came out of the interview and put it on the thumbnail, and they use just that one little quote, and whatever it is, they're like, damn, I want to watch that now. And that's kind of what draws me into watching an interview, I suppose.
Okay. Street Fame Magazine out of Florida. What catches you, man?
Same question. With me, man, it's the person. It depends on you. Okay. Interviewing, like kind of like what we also said. It got to be somebody who I'm interested in hearing about. I wouldn't click on it for the title if I'm not interested in the person. Like it got to be somebody who I want to see where they've been or what they up to or what they doing. Where they been at, that kind of stuff. What's next. So I only really click on people podcasts for people who I'm interested in seeing.
Okay. What's up? I got to give a special shout out to my sponsor, the AM Group LLC. Let me tell y'all about the AM Group LLC. The AM Group LLC is an independent distribution company that offers essential services such as internet, home security, energy, identity protection, wireless, and more. Secure your homes and businesses. Get a free consultation from my homegirl, Miss Nori. Email the amgroupllc@gmail.com to schedule your appointment. You can also visit www.isnorinori.com. Click the services tab to check out all the deals that they offer. Salute to my sponsor, the AM Group LLC. Much love. Y'all go check them out. Yeah. Really real. Now all of us done been approached by people like, man, I want to be on your show, man. You ought to interview me. I want to be on your show. What are you looking for in a guest, man? Because we can't just interview anybody, but anybody feels like that we should let them be on our shit, on our platform. I get it all the time, man. Why are you gonna interview me? And I don't want to say this to the person, but my mindset is, bro, if you got to ask me to interview you, then you're not relevant. You follow what I'm saying? Because if you popping like that, I'm looking for you. You follow what I'm saying? So with that being said, when people approach us, interview me, man, let me get on your shit. What are we looking for?
I ain't gonna lie, it took me a minute to figure that out because when I started, I used to be like, yeah, I got you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I got you. Because I just wanted to put content out, But really, for the most important thing for me is I know you taking what you're doing serious. You know what I'm saying? That's most important. Like if you come and you rapping, you really pushing your music and you really out here trying to get it. You ain't just dropping songs or you rap, but you ain't taking it serious to want to get an interview because I do it. Like it took me a minute to figure it out, but rapper the one told me like he was like once you get deep off in, you gonna get a lot of bullshitters inboxing you. You know what I'm saying? Just for the hell of it, just be on camera. So yeah, you got to take what you're doing serious. That's the most important for me.
Invest in Yourself podcast, Nebraska. Same question. What are you looking for in a guest?
I agree with Rell TV, but what he's talking about. You gotta have you gotta be serious about what you're doing. And if you're not fully into it and you ain't working on it all the time, then I don't really think you're being serious about it. And I want to be involved with someone that's consistently doing it and pushing their brand every day. And but they gotta have an interesting story, I suppose, and talk about whether it's redemption or if they've always been on this straight positive path. I want to hear a story whether they had a bad upbringing and made a negative into a positive, no matter what it was. I mean, like I said, I've done it with killers, drug dealers, drug smugglers, all that shit, and then straight up businessmen. I mean, it's all different. So whatever it may be, there's got to be a good positive story out of it.
Street Fame magazine out of Florida. Same question.
I like to discover new talents, man. So for me, when I be browsing, I see people that I feel like got the potential to be the next star, and I feel like he said, it taking it serious. That's the kind of people I like to get. People who I feel like got the potential to be next.
So you like the kind of break artists or break people.
Yeah.
Like I heard them first on here. I heard them first on Street Fame. Then people go look at them after that.
Yeah.
Okay. Will Hustle TV, same question, bro.
Pretty much a lot of things that everybody else said, but like relevancy, like, do you got a following? Can you, when you get on my, when I interview you, do you got 100,000 followers that can come follow us? You know what I mean? And then be hooked. Because as a podcaster, you're selling yourself too as an interview. You know what I mean? So if somebody likes the way you interview and then they go look back like, oh, this dude interview, yada, yada, yada. That's what I am on too. But the same thing as Street Fame, I want to break the next artist. Like, I've been blessed, like, man, like everybody from Migos, Kevin Gates. I done got so many people before they blew up. And then, like, I'm pretty sure that's something you want to get into later, but the monetization of it, like right now, I'm debating what I want to do. T.I.'s finna drop this Pimp Squad out, you know what I mean? And I got some footage of T.I. and all them niggas before they blew up, you know what I mean? So it's like, do I drop a documentary or do a spinoff, and monetize while that's dropping, or do I hold it for some more years? You feel what I'm saying? It's like when you do like what Street Fame saying too, and you breaking artists, you never know when you have that interview for that artist, like. Like, I mean, I'm looking for this Bo 3 footage I got right now. If I find that, it's game over. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I took him to Boosie house for the first time before the house Boosie got right now. So I'm on the same shit. Get that next artist, and especially like what Invest in Yourself was saying too is like, basically when somebody's popping and they believe in themselves, I want to do that interview. I want to help that person. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so I do it, just because for the track record or whatever. But I got a passion for breaking new artists, man, and helping people out. Just straightly. That's the type of person I am.
Okay, I'm glad you said when somebody's popping, you want to help the artist, you want to do the interview. That kind of leads to my next question. How do y'all feel about charging people to be on your platform? Two questions. Charging to be on the platform and also paying people to be on the platform. Of course, like the celebrities who are so-called bigger than us, we might reach out to them. They're like, man, I need this interview for you. And then you got up-and-coming niggas you ain't never heard of, but I want to get on your platform. You be like, man, shit, who was you? Shit, how much you got? How do y'all feel about that? About charging for the, and I'm gonna get my spiel after y'all answer. But Rell TV, when it comes to charging dudes to be on there or paying for guests, give me your spiel on that.
So, as far as the charging, honestly, that's how I weed out who really serious, to be honest. Because the people that, what I'm saying, you got some serious people that ain't gonna pay, but somebody that's serious and they take you serious, they willing to pay. And sometimes I ain't gonna charge everybody, but it's like, I know that's how you weed them out to me. You know what I'm saying? And this is something I want to do for a living. I want to get somebody, you know what I'm saying? Because you might not get them views every time.
Yeah.
And as far as paying people, for me to pay you, I'm gonna have to know that this interview gonna get some attention. I'm not finna pay you just because you know what I'm saying. I mean, I probably would pay somebody, just because like a Boosie, but I know they gonna get some traction to the podcast. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna just pay you because you want to get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Street fame. Same question, bro.
All right, so artists who be like shoot me 5K and all that, I'm not gonna pay it, bro, because it's like we doing something to help them too, even though they in the business. They don't the radio don't pay them. You know what I'm saying? And other platforms that they feel is more important than you, they don't pay them. But really, we just as important as them people on the radio, because you never know. I did an interview with Mike Jones that did 500,000 views. You never know what might happen. It's like you can't just assume because we not radio or we're not the networks that we should have to pay you when you're not charging everybody else. So I'm kind of against the whole paying for an interview. I don't think we should be paying for interviews. As far as people paying me, I really don't charge, man. It's funny because if I pull people, it's because I want them on my show. If somebody want to pay to be on my show, then we could talk numbers. But like Buddy said, most of the time, when you start talking that money, you're gonna find out who's serious and who not.
Right. Will Hustle. Same question, bro. Give me some insight.
Oh man, this you open up a can of worms with that. I feel like with up and coming artists, if you don't have no following, right? If you can't bring nothing to the table, then that's a service that we offer. You feel what I'm saying? So you should want to get your, because like I've been studying like the discovery phase for just marketing period, because a lot of artists when I'm marketing, they don't really realize you need to have a whole brand awareness campaign for a year, 2 years sometimes before you catch on. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing for artists. Like, and one of the things I was listening to somebody talking on Early Leisure, he was saying that's one of the good ways to get popping is podcast. So if you're not popping, you need to have an investment in podcast to open up your exposure, because some of these people, they might only have 1,000 subscribers, 5,000 subscribers, but they have a real cool core artist. Like, shout out to my little bro Trade 600 in Austin. On Instagram, he probably got 4,000 or 5,000 followers, but he did invest in yourself. He was constant with it. He's at 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. You feel what I'm saying? And his audience isn't that big, but everybody in Central Texas, Corpus Christi, they rocking with him. So if you look at your analytics, you say, hey man, Texas is, you need to still work with all the podcasts, whether they big or not. So as far as charging, I feel like the same thing with artists, right? You feel what I'm saying? If you're an up and coming podcast or whatever media outlet, right, and you just ain't popping, the time is everything. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of these major artists, they don't have time to do all these little podcasts. They need to get the big ones, be in and out. You know what I mean? So I just feel like you should need to know your level of the game. But I suggest anybody, like, I love to invest in yourself brand. Like that's just dope as fuck. Like, that's a lot of people are failing because they're not fucking investing themselves. Excuse my language. You feel what I'm saying? Like, whether it's a rap artist, a podcast, or a taco stand, you have to invest in yourself. So look at like Carisha, please, right? Her podcast, right? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know who all got paid to get on there, but I guarantee you Revolt had a bag. So at the end of the day, this is a rapper who everybody doesn't know her podcast. You feel what I'm saying? Because she had the right people on there. So like, if I had the bag to invest, I go get me a Boosie interview. I go get a little Bleach interview. I go get all, because what you do is once you spend, you say, man, I got $20,000-$30,000 to spend on interviews, right? Now you're Vlad. Vlad bitch ass pay everybody to get on Vlad. Why do you think Boosie go on Vlad all the time? Because it's a check every time. Because Vlad knows every time Boosie come on here, I'm gonna go viral. He gonna say something goofy as hell. Ooh, you know what I mean? So it's like you gotta work together. You just gotta know your levels to the game. You know what I mean? But I would, like I said, any up and coming podcast, anybody watching this, if you got a bag, invest. To me, that's the fastest way for you to get your podcast popping. And Carisha, please, is a perfect example of that.
I'm gonna say something to that real quick. I agree with what you're saying. However, me, like, I got 120K subscribers on YouTube, and I got 64K on Instagram, and I got like 160 on like TikTok, right? So for me, it's like if the artist popping, if they're mainstream artists and they popping, and if they charge, they charge. But if they don't charge, I'm not gonna pay them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It has to be a level. Like, they'd be a fool not to charge you. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I remember like when 2 Chainz first blew up, He went on a whole tour, like they call it like a presidential campaign, and he went like shaking hands and kissing baby. But he went and did every small podcast. He did everything. You know what I mean? So you have to touch those because, like I was saying earlier, like I'm building a media network, and that's what I feel like. If we all put our numbers together, that's power. We're clear.
That's what I'm all trying to do right now.
Exactly. Adrian, same question, bro. I don't think you answered the same question. When it comes to charging to be on their podcast or paying people to be on there, how do you feel about that?
Well, I agree with Will. When it comes to where you're at with your podcast, you need to know what level you're at. And when I first started, there was a few people I paid. One of them was Spice One. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him.
Yeah. What you talking about?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I paid him. And we did a 3-hour fucking interview. And the thing was, when I first started, I had less than 100 subscribers, dude. I only got like 100 fucking views on it. And like I said, I didn't know how to promote it, how to put the title or anything. So if I go back now, maybe I can get way better results. But I'm just saying, I definitely need to have more exposure before I went and did all that shit. But where I'm at now, I mean, paying people, I'm cool off it. I mean, I don't really want to pay anybody right now because I'm still coming up and building my brand. I'm going to try to get as much free interviews as I can. But if an opportunity came where like someone that's big and they're popping and they're popular, yeah, I probably would a little bit. But I mean, it just depends on the price. And on top of that, I want them to, I want to benefit off of it, and I want them to benefit off of it. And so if I'm going to pay you, I want you to share it on your social media platforms and do something for me. I mean, if I just pay you to come on and then I post it, I mean, yeah, my audience is going to see it, but I mean, if you don't, I mean, how the hell? I mean, it'll go out there a little bit, but it'll go so much further if they share it and they promote it. But I've never charged anyone to come on my show as well. So, I mean, right now I'm not at that status, I suppose. You know what I mean? I'm still building myself up. I know my level, but eventually, yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, it just depends I'm going to keep pushing to keep going up. But right now, that's kind of where I'm at with that. What about you, Ma?
My take on that is this, bro. I'm kind of what Aaron at with it. You feel me? Like Street Fame magazine. I'm kind of what he at with it. Like maybe it'll change, or maybe if the right situation coming to make sense. But as of right now, I'm not paying you to come on here because it's like he said, you ain't paying the radio. I mean, the radio not paying you. These bigger platforms, so gonna reach 40 million people. They're not paying you. You want to be on there. So I look at it like if I don't approach 3 different people who shot a price back at me. You follow what I'm saying? And I was like, okay, cool, no problem. Why are you gonna do it? Respectively, no, I'm not. You feel what I'm saying? I respect what you're saying, but nah, because I look at it like if you're charging me, that means I got more work to do. I'm not big enough yet because you don't feel like you need to be on here. You don't feel like it's benefit you to be on here. You follow what I'm saying? So I'm not mad. I'm not mad at you for charging, but I'm not gonna pay. So in maybe another year or two, whenever when you see me popping, you reach back out to be on there. I might flip around and charge you now. You follow what I'm saying? Because I remember what you did to me. You did. Now, as far as charge people to be on my podcast, I've never done that, man. And not saying that I won't. You feel me? But I look at it like I still try to keep it genuine and really about what's interesting. What I mean by that is, if somebody come to me who don't have a story, who's just straight up slow, who will not finna bring attention to the podcast, but he's like, I got 2,500, and I take the money. Now it's gonna go from having genuine content to just putting anything out there because you're getting paid. You follow what I'm saying? And I watched the DJ game go down the drain with that. I mean, I remember back in the day.
Ooh, did it. Speak on. We need to do a podcast on that.
My guy DJ Chucks, he out of Carolina. I had him on my podcast. I asked him that shit. I said, and it's gonna come back to what I'm saying about podcasts. I said, bro, when the DJ is going from taking pride and breaking records that was sounding like something to just pay me and I'll play anything. You know what I'm saying? So like back in the day when the DJ took pride in saying this is a hot song, nobody's heard it. I'm finna be the first one to play that. And when they catch, people are gonna remember that they didn't heard it in my club first, on my mixtape first. It went from that to somebody can come to you with a hot song and you be like, if you ain't got a budget, I ain't playing it. But the song hot. And look at what you are playing. It's bullshit.
But do you know why that happened? Do you know why that happened? I mean, not to go off subject. It was two things that happened, right? There was certain DJ crews and coalitions that watered the shit down, and they made it like a fucking horrible money grab, right? But rest in peace to Wicked Cricket, the legend from H-Town and shit. And he told me back in the day, a long time ago, man, and I'm blessed to have some dope OGs in the game. He said, what happens is, like, for instance, Wicked Cricket, I'm putting you on these open mics, I'm putting you on these stages. Now you go get a record deal, I gotta talk to your manager. You feel what I'm saying? So it was so many people who blow up. And I was breaking your record. Now I watch y'all need to ice that piece of chain, big Rolls Royces, and I can't pay my bills a day. And I can't call you. You're gonna be like, what? You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of DJs felt like, I didn't see so many people blow up and I didn't blew people up and I didn't get the money that I got. You know what I'm saying? I might got a little slap on the wrist. That's why plaques are very important. Because once you get a plaque on the wall, now you get charged for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? And your worth, everything goes up. But a lot of DJs didn't get the credit or the money that other people. When you watch somebody get rich in your face, and you not, man, that shit changes people, bro. It changed the whole culture of people.
You know what, Will? I ain't mean to cut you off. And I really understand that. I'm a rapper too at the end of the day. Most of y'all, those who know me, I'm a rapper at the end of the day. And I got a nice following. But I'm saying that to say this, like, I get the DJs feeling like that, but like, when it comes back to the podcast game, I don't want to be like, because I take pride in the guests I have and the content I put out. I don't want to lose that pride and just start putting out anything because you're paying me. I know how I felt when I saw DJs do that. I don't want them to start looking at me or us like that. Like, man, you know what?
Anybody you got to be selective on who you pay. Because Dirty Glove Bastards, I'm trying to count their pocket. Them niggas getting a stupid bag right now, $1,500. You know what I'm saying? Right. I think they went down 1,000. But you got to look at it and that's a two-way street there too, right? You know what I mean? Y'all are charging for this platform, but y'all got stupid numbers. You feel what I'm saying? Then anybody go on there, you're gonna get numbers. But you got a lot of artists. I had a couple artists like, man, I went on there and nothing happened for me. Because you didn't make nothing happen for you. You know what I'm saying? Like you should have topped that content, do sponsored ads on it, may go viral. You feel what I'm saying? Like a lot of people understand a lot of this stuff that you see go viral is paid to go viral. You feel what I'm saying? They go get with a bunch of podcasters and they be like, hey, so we're going to talk about this when we get on this interview with such and such. And then we're going to clip that up and say, oh, well, whoop, you know what I mean? Like a lot of this should be orchestrated or whatever. But I just feel like, there's a lot of other different money aspects. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I keep giving props to, invest in yourself. Like, look at Earn Your Leisure. Like, they're making so much money off of shirts. You feel what I'm saying? So you shouldn't have to rely on a lot of these people are going to turn just like the DJ, the interview into the money grab. You feel what I'm saying? When there's so many other ways that you can monetize your podcast. I watch these girls, I think they're called Poor Choices. And I was working a film gig and I didn't even know what I was pulling up to. And they were two black girls that talked about sex, dating, and shit like that. And they probably had about 1,500 people pay to come to this event. You know what I mean? They had a merch line that stayed popping from the time they opened. You know what I mean? So it's like we gotta really learn how to like even like my VVS show that we're doing on Holly Unique. Like we're talking about like we streaming on Holly Unique, but we talking about turn that into a whole TV show that we're gonna put on Hulu. You know what I mean? So you gotta definitely explore the other options besides just charging artists because that's going we got to make sure that our industry don't get watered down like the DJ industry.
And pretty much that's my whole point, Will. That's pretty much what I'm trying. I ain't mean to cut you off, real. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. That's why I'm saying if the situation comes, I ain't gonna say I ain't gonna take your money, but I've never put it out there like, hey, to get on my shit, you got to pay me this. I never said that. You feel me? Now a lot of people have approached me, man, interview me, and I tell them some shit like, which is really the truth. Man, I got like 15, 20 interviews and they ain't came out yet, bro. It's gonna be a while before I get to you. But really, if you pop like that, I cut that shit short and get to you. But that's my way of pretty much saying, bag off.
Not right now.
Bag off.
Because even as an artist, like I'm gonna tell you, I can't. This is another nigga I can't stand either. Is academics. I'm sorry. I'm from a trio. I don't like no sucker shit. You feel what I'm saying? So forgive me if y'all like any of these people I say is a bitch ass nigga like Travis White. You feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if I had an artist and he had a record, and you don't never do it once. You need to do it at least 2 or 3 times. Like people go and pay $500, go on World Star and think that that's gonna change their life. But I would tell an artist to go get a Dirty Glove Bastard, go pay academics for like 3 or 4 posts. Like if you got a real budget, like we are the keys to the streets. Like the people sit here and watch us. You know what I mean? So I'm not opposed to anybody charging. If you built your brand up to that much and you got real organic followers and you can look at your analytics, hell yeah, man, charge like a motherfucker. The PBS is charging. I mean, not PBS, but CBS. You feel what I'm saying? CNN charging. We have to figure out a way to get our advertisement and monetize this off of more than just the streaming. You know what I mean? And then just charging people to get on.
Rell, you was gonna say something before. I think I cut you off. What was you gonna say, Rell?
I was gonna say sometimes it ain't all about the money either. It's about just paying it forward. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Like how I'm talking to you right now. You reached out to me. We ain't talk about no money. Now I got a relationship. Now we doing this. I done met new people. You know, building relationships, paying it forward, giving out shout outs. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I still post yo guys, CCG, I still post review.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just if you ain't gonna pay, if you
and
stuff like that,
is a way
to
build like followings too. Like you know what I mean? Like basically, if you can like use a podcast that like, especially if y'all fucking with a nigga like. And this, I'm talking to any artist that's watching this one after this get posted. It's like keep fucking with that nigga because I didn't like it wasn't a podcast, but it was the I don't know if y'all remember the fix.com. It was a popping ass blog back in the day. The dude who ran the Fix now is the head of hip hop at South by Southwest. So you don't know who some of these podcasters might turn into, and you just support him for $200-$300 when he had a podcast and that kept his lights on that month. You feel what I'm saying? So like I tell people all the time, don't come off as a come up as a supporter. You know what I mean? Because you never know what that support can do for somebody. And if you got a budget, don't be afraid to spend it. Just spend it with the right people who generally rock with you.
Let me pick it back off of what you said, Will. You said now your boy who was doing the Fix is now the head of hip hop at South by Southwest. And it's gonna tie back to you, Adrian. You feel me? You say you never know who these podcasters will become or who they will be. With that being said, I done been paid 2-3 times to be on somebody's podcast. The offer was brought to me. How much you want to be on here? You feel me? I never actually told nobody in order to be on your shit, bro. You got to pay me. I never did that. And Adrian, you can vouch for that. You heard Adrian say before he got subscribers up, he was like at 100, 200 subscribers. You follow what I'm saying? I don't know this dude from a can of paint. He reached out to me in the inbox. You feel me? He reached out. Now, here go what me being, I guess, having a heart and being nice, whatever comes in that. He reached out to me in the inbox or whatever. I read it, didn't know who the fuck he was. Read it, went on his page, saw the 100, 200 subscribers. Now, if I would have judged him off of numbers, I'd be like, I ain't doing it. No, I ain't, no, man. You get your game up, holler at me next year. Or I could have said, yeah, I'll do it, bro. If you ain't got 150 subscribers, you got to pay me for that shit, bro, because I'm bigger than you. I never judge people off that. And that goes back to what you're saying, Will. You never know who the next diamond in the dirt is. You follow what I'm saying? So just because he had 100 subscribers now, maybe I'm going to be a part of this movement. So when he blows up and becomes Breakfast Club or Vlad or whatever, now when you charge $1 million, you better not say that shit to me, bro. Because I did it when you wasn't nothing. You follow what I'm saying? You better not say it to me, bro. I don't give a fuck who comes to you, nigga. I get it for free. You follow what I'm saying? And I say that.
Y'all seen Rap Economics?
Say that again.
Yeah. Have y'all seen Rap Economics? They be doing like the freestyle. They out of H-Town.
I haven't. No.
Yeah, they be doing like the kind of like famous animal where they just let people come up and freestyle. They saying is you can't come up here. But the point I'm saying is, and before South by Southwest, they had like 1,000 subscribers. Boosie's daughter went up there and did a freestyle. They got like 5 million views off that. You feel now they subscribers. So now South by Southwest, you know, they and I like how they did it. They didn't do it like on a payola shit, but they was charging like $300. Man, I know them niggas got that shit about 200-300 times. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, and when you do that, I mean, I don't know about y'all. Like, I do this for I love it, but this is also a business. You know what I mean? So, you know, like I'm looking at y'all sets back there, like Street Fan. You look like you got a studio. You feel what I'm saying? Like everybody got their shit. Like this shit costs a lot of money too. And if you want to make money,
it do cost a lot of money.
Yeah, fact.
I mean, like I'm gonna tell you, like I'm gonna go back on what he was saying. Like I understand charging, but it's just levels to it. It's levels to it. It's levels. Sure. It's always levels, man. It's levels to charging. It's levels to being charged. You feel me? It's just levels to all of it. It depends on what level you on. You know what I'm saying? If you know you up, then you can't just let anybody come for free. You know what I'm saying? Because you at a certain status. But at the same time, if you're being selective, then I understand like where me and Maul kind of see out. If we being selective on who we bringing, we not gonna charge because we asked them to come on our show. You feel me? But they ain't come at us like, hey, I really need to get on that show. That's a different scenario. You feel me?
Yeah. Right. And going back to the situation with investing yourself with Asian, right? I'm picking on you, Asian, in a cool way. You feel me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like I'm saying that because I put myself in his situation. When it comes to this charge and shit, this guy reached out to me, and I did it on the strength of I don't know who he is, but I see he approached the right way. He approached respectable and approached in a professional way. So I like you because of that. And then on top of that, I remember when I had 100 subscribers. You follow what I'm saying? I wish somebody would did a favor for me. So I do that type of shit. You feel what I'm saying? Hopefully it comes on the back end. On the back end, meaning when I reach out to some of these celebrities, don't judge me off of I ain't got 20 million followers. Look at the way I'm coming at you. Look at the content that I do got and see where I'm going and be like, you know what? I'll fuck with you. You feel me? I'll fuck with you. The same way I did him. So that goes back to my whole little thing about I'm willing to pay if I have to. But I feel like if it's a genuine connection, man, people really take the hoopla out of and just look at what's going on. Everybody got a fan base that somebody else don't got. So even though you're a celebrity and you got 1 million or 5 million views on whatever TV channel, this little up and coming dude, he got a fan base who might not even tune into you. You follow what I'm saying? It might just be 5,000 people. It might be 2,500 people. You never know. You feel me? But if you're humble enough, just check out and see what's going on, man. You never know. You never know. And
that's what Hustle TV just said. He said, that's basically what he just said. He was saying how Boosie's daughter went and did a freestyle, and then look where they at now.
Overnight.
But the thing is, Boosie's daughter could have said, no, you ain't big enough for me. You know what I'm saying? You can't judge just based off of like somebody's status. Because what if she have said, no, that ain't big enough. I ain't doing it with y'all, right? And basically, she would have never went viral for it, and they would have never went viral for it either.
So, Rell TV out of Texas. Let me ask you this. Us who have our own podcasts, we're in our own cities, we got our own fan base, our own markets. How can we help each other as podcasters? How can we help each other?
Well, for one, we already started on it. You know what I'm saying? This right here gonna help us. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, sharing content, networking. Like, for example, y'all know Terrence Gangster Williams. You know what I'm saying? I made a relationship with him, you know what I'm saying, despite his infamous, you know what I'm saying, that he got going on, you know what I'm saying? We done made a relationship, he did me a favor, he came on my podcast, he was my first real, like, kind of big gift.
That's how I heard about you.
Yeah, so.
Who y'all talking about?
Gangster out of New Orleans. Gangster Williams out of New Orleans. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? He reached out, ever since I did that, he reached out to me, he was like, hey, he reached out to me. He was like, "Hey, this Dana Soldier Slim baby mama. You know what I'm saying? She got a little she doing a run. She getting about 80K every time she get on something."
Oh, gangster put you on her.
Yeah. So
okay. All right.
He put me that on right there, and you know what I'm saying? That's some stuff. They help me out.
Right. That's real shit. Invest in Yourself podcast out of Nebraska. Us as podcasts, the same question. How can we help each other? Because we all got our own shit going on. I'm doing this. I don't need you. You don't need me. You don't need him. But how can we help each other? What can we do?
I think same thing like really Rell said with doing networking like we're doing now. But on top of that, even if you're in the same industry and doing the same kind of podcasts that relate to someone else, I mean, you can make a guest appearance with them and then tell your people, hey, I'm going on this show and we're going to interview a guest together and, kind of cross brand shit. I think that works great. It mixes the audience. And then, that guy now they return the favor and then do the same thing. And then, it's just about supporting each other, promoting each other. As long as you get along with them. I mean, every podcaster I met's been pretty cool. You know what I mean? No one's ever said, no, man, go fuck yourself. I ain't doing this shit with you. You know what I mean? Everybody's pretty cool and they understand because they know where you're coming from and they know the struggle, how it can be. And they understand it.
Same question, Will.
Man, just collaborations, man. One of my favorite things Pimp C said in my interview, he said, sometimes the student become the teacher and the teacher become the student again.
Mm-hmm.
So I always shout out, man. Texas has a dope blog movement right now going, and they just going live with each other, man. They going on each other's podcasts. They supporting each other. You know what I mean? Guest hosting each other. So just collaborations, and then also too, like man, I'm blessed. Like I came from the DVD, so it's not as easy it's not as hard for me to get like celebrities and bigger celebrities. But like when somebody like a Gangster Williams, you feel what I'm saying? Like we should be able to swap that around. Like, hey, I got this podcast, you go get on. I can get, you know what I mean? And help each other basically get bigger names. Like, so if you tapped in with this person, I like that. That's one thing we do in Atlanta, a lot, especially like a lot of my like record label exec things. Like, I got certain niggas. Like, shout out to my nigga OP. He work at 300 and Empire and Rock Nation. So he like all of his clients, I interview them for free. You know what I'm saying? But he'll send me some bigger celebrity niggas. You feel what I'm saying? Or he'll plug me with this, or he'll do something for me. You know what I mean? So you just gotta work with each other and help spread those big names around and just brand each other. Because like at the end of the day, if we come together, we can really blow up an artist. The bloggers blew up. The bloggers are bigger than the DJs right now. You feel what I'm saying? So same thing for podcasting, because it's kind of the same thing in a way. You know what I mean? A lot of bloggers have podcasts now. So I think that we can really unify and blow up artists. Just
You're right. You're right.
They cut that check or show us love when they blow up.
Right. Will Hustle. When you first got in the game, what was your biggest moment? Like, okay, I can't believe I interviewed this dude. I can't believe I got access to this backstage concert. What was the biggest moment you like, you know what, damn, all right, I'm here.
C interview ain't nothing really ever topped my Pimp C interview. But yeah, ain't nothing to fuck with that Pimp C interview. Like it changed my life, and it's crazy. I almost didn't get it. Pimp was an arrogant, pompous son of a bitch, and anybody that know would tell you that. You know what I'm saying? And the first time that we tried to get the interview, we didn't know. We just walked right up on Pimp. He's like, nigga, I don't know you niggas. I ain't heard of you niggas. I ain't doing no interview. You know what I'm saying? In front of everybody. I'm like, bitch ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Pimp C my damn self. And but the second time I went through Bone from Rap A Lot, man.
Bone, shout out to Bone.
You know what I'm saying? And I thought Pimp C was bullshitting again, but he had just came home from jail. He had put a Bentley around. He was playing a new UGK album, and he was really trying to see how everybody was, vibing to it. But I'm thinking he bullshit. I'm telling my homeboy, man, fuck this shit, nigga, let's leave, fuck this nigga. You know what I'm saying? And then that nigga was like, you ready? I was like, hell yeah. I think I did that interview. That shit changed my life because, he's a legend. And anybody who's wild, like his mom told me out her mouth, she's like, that's one of the best interviews my sons ever did. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's too much that's topped my Pimp C interview.
Rell, your biggest moment.
So far, I really would have said the gangster, but I ain't gonna lie, the Grove Hero.
Yeah. That's probably it.
Going crazy, like for me to do that interview, number one, it did. That was my highest, you know what I'm saying, amount of views. It did 21K, and then it's like how it went viral. Like I'm chilling on Instagram. Mind you, I just started. I'm chilling on Instagram. Rell start hitting me up on my inbox like, hey, we got a clip we want to post from your interview. I'm like, yeah, post it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, post it. I'll probably take a nap or something. I get up, I'm on World Star, I'm on No Jumper, I'm on Academics, I'm on, any platform you can think of, Shade Room, of my interview, you know what I'm saying? Of Grove Hero. I mean, I feel like that was my big moment.
What about you, Adrian? Invest in Yourself podcast, Nebraska. Your biggest moment to date.
Well, recently I did one that got 41,000 views. That was my most viewed one. So I'd say that one was I didn't really think it was gonna blow up like that, but it was with this guy that was in one of the New York mafia families. He was a Colombo. He was with them. His name is Sal Polisi, and we did an interview. Not a lot of guys have really interviewed him recently, and it blew up. And I mean, that was 3 weeks ago, and it's still going up. So I think maybe 42,000 now. But shit, when I seen that, I was like, holy fuck, there's something here. You know what I mean? Like I gotta. For me, like I mean, I really like doing the whole mafia shit right now and
That's your
the
lane. That's
gangsters
your
and
lane.
everything.
That's your lane. That's your lane, bro. For me,
Yeah.
man, I don't know what my biggest moment is. Like I've had, as far as I guess national guests, I've had Sugar T from the Click. He fought and had her. Money B from Digital Underground, and actually his interview released today. The Hump died. Crazy shit, coincidentally. Money B from Digital Underground. Spider Loke, Young Bleed, Max Manelli. A few people I'm leaving out who I can't think of. Oh, Silk the Shocker, KLC, Mystica, Mr. Servon, Mercedes. So I've had a few people who are up, you feel me? But the first person who to commit to me, the first national artist was Spider Loke, who was formerly signed to G Unit, you feel me? I reached out to him and he hit back and was like, man, send me your YouTube link. Let me have my people check it out before I agree to it. So I sent it to him. I was like, he gonna come back with that playing his numbers game. You feel me? Like, man, he hit back and say, all right, let's do it tomorrow. Oh, let's roll. We rocking. You feel me? That gave me my little confidence to just start reaching out to any and everybody. Like, I don't give a fuck if you say no or not. I'm finna reach out to you. You feel me? Because this motherfucker actually saw something that made him be like, you know what? I don't know you, homie, but let's do it. You follow what I'm saying? So that was my first confidence booster right there. So I just been reaching out. And when I reach out, the people I'm reach out to, 3 people hit me back with a price. Somebody hit me with $750, somebody hit me with $1,500, somebody hit me with $25. I'm like, I mean, I get y'all, but I'm not paying y'all that. You feel what I'm saying? I won't call their name, but I ain't paying y'all that. One of them was the actress. The one told me $750 was in a major movie. Major movie. You feel me?
I got an actor, bro, from Snowfall that told me 500.
Yeah, that's how they get their money now, man.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Funny story, bro. Boosie tried to charge me to get on the DVD, and he was like, we had went to the Loose as a Goose video, and I'm in that bitch like 3 or 4 times. We was in Baton Rouge, and I kept telling my partner, man, ask him for the drop for interview, and my nigga didn't want to do it. So I was like, man, what's up, my nigga? You give me this interview? Like I was a young Pimp C nigga too. Boosie's like, nigga, you DVD niggas, man. Y'all make money off them DVDs, man. You know what I'm saying? He said, nigga, I need some money.
No, what Boosie said.
Yeah, so he was like, give me 15. Then like between me and you, he said, give me $1,500. He said, but y'all from Texas, so y'all give it half of me and Drake. You know what I'm saying? So at that time, I ain't had no just 1,500 just on me like that. Right. So I took about a month, and we got the 1,500, and my nigga was supposed to go, and I ain't mad at him because we had just left a car show in Corpus Christi, and he was supposed to go meet Boosie in Dallas to give him the 1,500, and about 2 weeks later, that's when Boosie went to jail and was on death row and shit.
Okay.
If I got that interview before, you know what I'm saying? That was crazy. But to close in on two, I forgot about 2 moments that was really dope in my career. And rest in peace to Maroy for Too Real for TV. I grew up watching Too Real for TVs, and I filmed for Don Juan and them. And you know, if anybody been to Atlanta, like nigga, they gonna charge your mama to get in the club. Like, I mean, whoever they charge everybody is $40. So Don Juan and camera person got shut at the door. They're like, we don't give a fuck who you are. And I literally followed Don Juan from the time he walked in the players' ball to the time he was out. You know what I'm saying? And that went mad viral. And then when Gucci and Jeezy, when they did the battle versus each other, I was trying to figure out niggas was capping, niggas went to tell me where was at. And then when I seen, I was like, oh, they're at Magic City. So I watched half the battle as a fan, and I watched the other half of my car. And so when they was coming out, I caught Gucci and P getting in the Phantom and shit. But that shit got me. That was the first time like I had 1,000 like that. I did a Bun B draped and dripped out video. You know what I'm saying? That back then, that was the first thing I ever put on YouTube. So that was like 2008, 2009. I had like 1,000, 1,500 subscribers my whole time. He said, but that fucking Jeezy, it was smart. I had to learn how to monetize it. I know some people like long content, and I know some people like short content. So I did a long one, we talking, so I get my little FaceTime, my claim to fame, and then I did a short one. So combined with that and the Don Juan and the 2 clips, I did like 1 million views. But when the Jeezy shit came, your monetization, it shows you how much money you're making. That shit was going up, and then it was like 3 like dashes. I was like, damn, what the fuck? Y'all owe me some money, nigga. Then I looked up, that shit said 1,500. That shit went up to $2,500. I was like, what? I've been viral before, but now I had learned how to go viral. Matter of fact, rest in peace to Maroy. My bad, let's be long with it. But the first time I went viral, I had a Method Man interview. I had ran up on Method Man in Atlanta, and he's like, I hate that camera shit. I was like, nah, I'm trying to get some natural shit. He's like, nah, I'm a world star. Like I keep telling him I was a young Pimp C my damn self. Like, nigga, this ain't no motherfucking world star. This Real Hustle TV, nigga. You feel what I'm saying? So he was like, nah, I fuck with me. He gave me a dope ass interview. He was like, and I'm gonna tell you what's so crazy about this interview. At the end, he called for a challenge, right? Because he said, man, back in the day, if you what's going on now with the academics and the Vlads and shit, he's like, if you spew bad shit about somebody, you get your ass kicked. So at the end of the interview, Method Man was like, he said, these niggas need to walk around with helmets on their head, because every time they pop out, somebody cracking bottles on their head. They didn't take that challenge, and look at the fucking death that academics done by spewing the Chicago murders and shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? But the crazy part about it, when it went viral that time, I was still doing DVDs. I wasn't ready for the digital era, right? You know what I'm saying? I understand. I had a pocket full of money, fucking Cadillac CTS. I was living the best of my life. You know what I'm saying? And so I didn't really care about the monetization part because it was new to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I come from 1,000 DVDs times 10 is $10,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm doing that like crazy. So 3 years later, I broke up with my girl. Every man had done it. We were rekindling, trying to get our life together. I'm in my mama's house, broke, bro. And Maroy calls me, but this time the video went viral on Facebook. The algorithm had changed. It went viral on Facebook. Okay. So Maroy from Too Real for TV called me. He was like, bro, tell me you at least made $2,500 off that video. And I was broke in my mom's, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I swear, I had just met my dad for the first. That's like my testimony. I had just met my dad for the first time. He gave me a laptop, and I sat on the internet, bro, for at least 5 to 8 hours a day, bro. I only slept for 4 hours, learning everything I could about monetization, breaking this shit down. I was like, I'm finna get a bag. So when that Jeezy shit popped, I was able to use all of the shit that I learned to make that shit go viral. Hey, chop it up into more video, you know what I mean? Even now, like I'm trying to get my merch and shit together because you don't never want to be in a position where you go viral and you don't get to get the bag off of. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit sucks, bro.
Right. Hey, Rell TV. No, hey, I'm gonna ask you this. Invest in Yourself podcast. What moment did you realize, all right, man, people actually watching my shit? I'm relevant. What let you know that? What was the moment?
Probably this year, at the beginning of this year, once I had a clip that from my documentary that I just been posting like YouTube shorts and just trying to get some promotion for it, and shit, it got like 250,000 views, and it's like, damn, man, people like it, people enjoy it. And I haven't dropped that documentary series. It's going to be about the American Mafia, and there's 11 different episodes, and each one's about a different crime family. But I just I had noticed that, and my subscribers just went way up. And like I said, at the beginning of this year, since every year I've been averaging about, definitely over 800 every month. And I went from last year only fucking, the first year only getting 100 fucking subscribers. So I mean, it's definitely, I'm getting views. And with that last interview that I posted, well, the interview I posted 3 weeks ago, I got 41,000 views. So I mean, that's telling me right there, like, damn, I'm doing something right. So it feels good.
Rell TV, same question.
So in the beginning, I was only caring about getting my city. So after my first episode, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, all right, people want to see me do this.
You was feeling yourself already.
Yeah, because it was like, it's my first episode, and I did like 700 the first night. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That was pretty big for, like, I just made my YouTube and all that, and I got all that the first night. But by the time the second time it made me feel like that was after I did Terrence Gangster Williams, because that's when people started hitting me up from out of town. You know what I'm saying? People inboxing me. They all the way in Memphis. They all the way in, you hit me up. I was like, okay, people besides Arkansas watching me now.
The gangster charge you for that?
He initially he won some money, but I don't know. He changed his mind in the end. He changed his mind.
That was all profit right there, then, huh?
Yeah.
All right. That was up. I'm gonna end it with this, y'all. The closing statement. I want y'all to give me a closing statement. But the question is to all three of y'all is a closing statement. As podcasters, starting with you, Will TV, Will Hustle TV first. What is our purpose? And y'all all ended with that. What is our purpose as podcasters?
To entertain and inform, bro. Them two things right there, inform people. Like a lot of people learn stuff from my Rick Ross interviews about his cases that nobody ever knew, and to entertain, to be funny. You know what I'm saying? Like people really want to, like, back in the day, like I said, I do marketing for everybody, but mainly independent artists. Is like, we knew about Snoop Dogg and them because they had Behind Your Musics and they were on 106 in Park. There was nowhere really. That's why I started the DVD, because there was nowhere for independent people to tell their story. You know what I mean? So it's like we are the voice of the people that they want to see. Whether it be actors, actresses, is we want to tell their stories and inform people, and be there and just be there for people. That's my thing.
Invest in Yourself podcast out of Nebraska. What is our purpose as podcasters?
Fire as well, because we want to, for me, obviously entertain and do all that other stuff like Will said, but for me, mine is like to inspire people to know that, anybody can invest in themselves, whether you had a shitty upbringing and now you're doing something good, or if you've always been on that good path, and how people can continue to better themselves. So that's what I think on that, man. Inspiring.
Rell TV out of Dallas, Texas, man. Final question to you. As podcasters, man, what is our purpose? What are we here for?
And we here, like, for me, it's half what Will said. You know what I'm saying? We here to entertain and inform, you know what I'm saying? And the other half of me is, man, I just wanted to create a safe place, you know what I'm saying, for, to speak their mind, to, say whatever they got to say, That's another big thing. Like, I'm big on mental health and all that. I done had people come up here and give testimonies and, tell their story. Like, I done interview rappers that we didn't even get a chance to talk about music. We talked about their life. This was therapy for them. So, that's all I want to do. Create a safe
That's
place
what the fans want to see. The fans want to see that type of stuff. They want to get to know them. So salute to you for doing that, my brother.
And I done had people cry on here, all type of stuff, man.
That's a good thing. Well, that was another episode of Table Talk with MTP, man.
What's your input? My bad, Roger. Interview. What's your input why we should be here?
Okay, my thing is, man, I think we're here for entertainment, man. Like, I think people like us in the position we're in, with the level that we at right now, people come to us to see people who they not seeing on the bigger platforms. You follow what I'm saying? When it comes to the bigger platforms, only the A-list artists are going to go there. But I want to hear from guys who I used to bump back in the day. I want to hear from certain artists who are not on TV no more, but are still relevant. I want to hear from them. What platforms can I go to hear from them? What is artists or anybody who's been an entertainer, who's been considered a celebrity? All of them are not on the A-list platforms. That's where we come in at. I feel like, you follow what I'm saying? So I think it's on us to deliver content to people who you don't see on a daily basis. You hear the same artists on the radio. You've seen the same artists on these bigger platforms. What about these 50,000 other artists who we are all familiar with, who we all were fans of at one time? Where are they at? What are they doing now? Who do they go to tell their story? And I think that's where we come in at. You feel what I'm saying? So I feel like we really like the diamonds in the dirt, the jewels. You follow what I'm saying? The jewels. Because we understand both sides of it, if that makes sense. You feel what I'm saying? We understand both sides of it. So that's why I think we're important. I think we're really more important than the A-list platforms, because we're not, what's the word? We're still independent. We haven't been bought out.
We got a bunch of restrictions like they got.
We're right, no restrictions. We haven't been bought out. You can't control who come on our platform. You can't. If we come and listen, if a certain artist come on a big platform, the publicist is gonna tell the interviewer what not to ask. If you come on our platform, it's fair game. You follow what I'm saying? So like, we're not controlled, we're not bought out, we own our content. We're not under nobody else's umbrella. You follow what I'm saying? So I think the average real fan will tune in to this because they know what they're gonna get. They might not even know the people who interview. They might not even know who the fuck we are. But we got these certain people on here, they know who they are, and it becomes, okay, who was the dude interviewing? He was asking some real shit. These are one of radio-based questions right here. You follow what I'm saying? This is one questions about the album right here. This is questions about everything else, just real shit. You feel me? So I think that's what we win at because it's not scripted.
Hey, it's one more thing I want to say too. One person, when I started podcasting, one of the media dudes I was messing with, one big thing he pushed on me, it was trying to get sponsors.
Yeah.
You know, and that's even the small people. Like my first sponsor was one of my homeboys that do credit. You know,
right. I saw that.
Throwing me bread to, you know what I'm saying, give him a drop every day. You know, I got a whole smoke shop sponsor. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
and
right.
I learned that from $1 Million Worth, and he just said on the episode.
Wallow.
Yeah. He was like, hey, don't compare us nobody that don't stop and say, hey, this is brought to you by this. This is brought, that's where it comes in. So, you know, creating a relationship, getting on sponsor, that's important too.
Very important. I got 3 myself, but you know, I'm looking for I got 3 myself, but that's real important. Real important, man. Real important. Real important. Again, man, thank y'all for tuning in. That was another edition of Table Talk with MTP. The topic for this discussion was why podcasting is important. And I had 4 podcasters on here. Salute the Street Fame magazine out of Tampa, Florida. Salute the Rell TV out of Dallas, Texas. Salute to Will Hustle TV, based in Atlanta, but from Austin, Texas. And salute the Invest in Yourself podcast out of Nebraska, man. And this is Maul the Pimp, Pimpoholic TV podcast based out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Go to my website, www.maulthepimp.com. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Maul the Pimp, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is called Pimpoholic TV. And we out here. Salute.
Well, look, thank you for having me, bro.